Okay, problem number 2. My goal is to rearrange it for y equals mx plus b. So I'll write that goal above it. The thing that really stands out the most is that y is in the correct spot, but this x has to travel to the other side because it needs to be behind equals. So this is a positive x. A negative x will make it go away. So write that on both sides. Cancel here. Negative 3y equals, I just brought down what was left. I want the x term first. This was a positive 6, so I'm going to write plus 6. I just scoot it to the back. I'm not going to put it right beside my x because I didn't need them to be multiplied. These are just two separate terms. Okay, my y is in the correct spot like my goal. The x is in the correct spot like the goal. But I don't need a coefficient on my y. They are multiplying, so I'm going to divide by negative 3. Cancel here. Y equals, I'm going to break this up into two different things that are being divided by negative 3. Negative x over negative 3. I'm always going to put a plus here. 6 over negative 3. Remember that whenever your variable does not have a number, we would give it a 1. So y equals. So whenever you're working your practice page and you get to this spot, this might be the part that you need to type into the calculator if you're not good at reducing. I don't want you to guess and miss it. So I would be typing in the fraction, negative 1 over negative 3. But I know it's just going to reduce down to 1/3. X was in the top, I pull it to the back. 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. So now I can see my m, or my slope number in front of x, is 1/3. And I can see my y-intercept number at the back is negative 2. Number 3. I'm going to write my goal, y equals mx plus b. The x term needs to move to the other side of the equation. This is a positive x term, so I'm going to do negative 11x on both sides. Cancel your positive and negative x's. That's a 0 pairs that cancel out. I still have a negative 4y on this side. I bring down the equals. Negative 11x. There was a positive 32 on this side, so I'm just going to push that to the back. I do not want this negative 4 to be multiplied by my y. In my goal, the y is all alone. So I'm going to divide by negative 4 on both sides. So this one can cancel. Y equals. I break this up into two different terms because there was a plus in between them. Negative 11x over negative 4 plus. Now I have a 32 over negative 4. Now all that's left is to simplify. 11 and 4 don't have common factors that they can both divide by. Like I know this bottom part can be divided by 2, but the top cannot be divided by 2 and get a pretty number. So I'm just going to do a negative divided by a negative is going to give me a positive 4 over 11. So I put the x behind that fraction. 32 divided by negative 4 is negative 8. So I'm just going to simply put that value at the back of my equation. I don't really need to say plus negative 8 because this is the same thing and it's shorter. So you want the least amount of signs. I can see my slope is 11 over 4 and my y-intercept is negative 8. Okay, last one. I write my goal above it. I notice that my x term needs to move to the other side. Again, it's a positive 11, so I need a negative 11x. I bring down what's left. Negative 8y equals I want the x term first. There was a negative 48, so I'm going to push him to the back. I do not want a coefficient on my y. I just want y equals. So to make this negative 8 times y go away, I do the opposite and I divide. Y equals. Break this up into parts. Negative 11x over negative 8. I'm going to put a plus. Now there's a negative 48 over negative 8. Y equals. If I reduce this, it's just going to be 11 over 8x. And then a negative over a negative 48 divided by 8 is 6. My slope is 11 over 8. My y-intercept is 6. Okay, so you're going to put this page in the notes part of your binder, or you can keep it out to help you do the practice page. So the practice page is on my desk. It is so similar to the one that you just finished. You'll plot points so you can use a ruler and draw lines and write out the equation. Okay, and then on the back they have these that you need to rearrange to make it look like y equals mx plus b. So you can write out your slope number and your y-intercept number. So this will be one that you turn in whenever you are done for me to grade.